All right, we are live. All right,
Hello.
what's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? Welcome to episode 20 of the Kava Club Podcast. I have a special guest today. This is, really happy today because this is the first time I'm actually gonna have a superstar, a celebrity.
Oh, yeah.
Always, you know. First time I have a TikTok superstar joining me today. But I'll let her introduce herself. So can you go ahead and introduce yourself real quick?
Hi, everyone. My full name is Fine Atuila Sakisi, married name me, but I go by Ila, and I'm 27, and I live in Newport, California.
Yay, Bay Area. All right.
Now,
All right. So yeah, thanks for making the time, and very grateful for you to be part of this podcast. But let's get right into it. Ila, so how did you grow up?
oh, I grew up in Vava'u.
Okay.
Uh, I grew up with my grandparents because my mom had to go to school in Hawaii.
Mhm.
So I feel really blessed to have spend that time with my grandparents because they taught me and my siblings a lot.
Mhm.
So just growing up in Tonga, it really humbled me to be the person I am today.
Mhm.
Uh, I love everything about my childhood. If you ask me which part of my life is my favorite, I would say it's my
Yeah.
childhood. I grew
Yeah.
up carefree, we would climb trees, we would dive into mud puddle in the rain. Uh,
Takamuna.
yeah, everything just to go and kau tahi, jump off
Yeah.
the.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel that's the best time of my life was being in Tonga.
What do you think what are the things that you feel like that the lessons or things that you learned in Tonga that you feel like that you wouldn't have learned if you grew up in America that you feel like that helps you now
Oh,
as a person?
to be thankful about everything that we have. My grandma once said it's good to be masiva. I mean, be
Yeah.
poor,
Yeah.
but all you have is your family, and that's what matters is your family, the people that loves you. So I think that's what kept me going. Um, although we struggle a lot nowadays, I just keep thinking back to when my grandma used to say, all this materialistic thing won't matter when when you go. Like at the end of the day, everybody goes to one place, which is the grave. So
Yeah.
you just thankful for the littlest thing. Like it could be just you at home sitting down, like, oh wow, I'm thankful I have a house, I have a roof over my head, I'm thankful
Yeah.
there's food. You know, that's just yeah, that's that's where humble. Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you feel like do you feel like a lot of people nowadays in America don't I'm not as thankful? That's why that's something that works for you.
I do. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie, even my little sister, I see how just how spoiled they are nowadays. They have
Yeah.
iPhone, iPads,
Yeah.
and they'll complain if they don't get what they want. But in my
Yeah.
head, I'm like, I was a kid, I used to go and play with the pela outside. I would grab or the breadfruits.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
would make pretend that those are my toys. So I just feel like
Yeah.
the kids, they're really privileged to have everything they want.
I know. All right. Yeah, I know. I see that all the time, especially in America. So, what do you feel like was the? Because I know you're a Tongan woman. What do you feel like was the hardest thing for you growing up? Um, as a Tongan woman.
As a Tongan woman. Okay, let me just share the point where when I moved to Hawaii. So I moved to Hawaii when I was 12. Um, Came out unexpectedly because my mom graduated and she just decided to take us with her. That time I thought I was just gonna go up and visit her, but
Mhm.
that's goodbye.
Yeah.
Uh, so it was really hard for me to like grandparents. My grandparents are everything to me, and so when I moved to Hawaii, everything changed. Like it was so hard for me to adapt to everything. Like I had to learn English. Like mind you, like when I grew up, Tongue is all I know. Like I
Yeah.
understand Palani music and who knows, we're over here blabbering the words. I don't even telling you till this day. Like I hear some song and I'm just like, dang, that's what I was talking about when I was little. But coming to Hawaii and trying to adapt to a whole new culture where um and I'm not gonna try to put my mom out there, but it was just hard to have that relationship with my mom and call her mom. Like I used to call her just by her first name, just because I
Yeah.
never did with her. I used to envy her a lot, just because I would think like, okay, so you just you went to school, but then you leave us in Tonga, and then just growing up in Tonga. Of course, we have everything. We have food,
Yeah.
but I think my grandparents and them, just the way the Tongan people, they look at America as in like, wow, like it's it's a miracle to be in America. And
Hmm.
we would do things, and sometimes my mom would fail to like, you know, send over stuff, and that's I think that's one of the hardest part was just me accepting the fact that my mom never really get to not just my mom but my dad too. Like my
Yeah. Yeah.
dad is in New Zealand. They got separated when I was little.
Hmm.
So I just thought like my parents been there for us when we were little. I get it. My mom was in school, but I felt like when you're as a kid, your parents should be together and you grow up together with them. So
Yeah.
that's just the thing that I struggle with is relationship with my parents. Um, I know we can't really share a lot, like mental health, or you can't really bring it out to because they're gonna look at you like, "What are you talking about?" Like I feel like that's something that we don't really talk about in the poly community.
Hmm.
If you bring that up to them, they're gonna turn around and be like, "Why? Okay, fasesele," like my
Yeah.
head, and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Lau
And
PC, eh?
yeah, like busy, like ako like how
Ano, tayo ko.
yeah, coming to Hawaii and trying to have that relationship back with my mom. So that's what I was struggling with. Me and her, we're getting along. It's just yeah, I can't really. I think she adapted to American life. So when I came up here, I have the Tongan mentality. So I'm over here expecting her. I expected a lot from her,
Hmm.
which I was disappointed by it, and we just clashed. Like we never got along. And at 18, I moved out, and I'm here now in Cali. But we're
Okay.
doing, yeah, we're okay
Okay.
now. That's I felt like that's one of my struggle when I was little, having that
Okay.
tongue and coming here to Hawaii, I mean to America, and my mom's already like Americanized.
Okay. You see that? You see that a lot. Not only I know you experienced it, but you see that a lot within your own Tongan friends. Like as far as building an open relationship with their parents, to be open with them.
I see that a lot. Like it's kind of sad, to see that. Of course, the love is there, but I don't
Yeah.
see any affection. Like, hey, like I love you. Like, come over here, or kiss them. It's kind of like awkward. It's just like, okay, mom, bye, or bye, dad. Stuff like
Yeah.
that. And when I see that, it kind of makes me angry inside, just because I never had my dad around and I never had that relationship with my mom. So when I see that, it's like, damn, like you should be lucky your parents are show affection, show love more often.
Yeah.
They're gone.
Yeah. Why do you feel it's like that? In your opinion, like why do you feel like it's a lot of Tongan parents don't as not as affectionate or communicative with their kids than than parents in America. Like, why do you feel like? I'm just curious, like in your opinion and based on what you see, why do you feel like it's like that? Do you feel like it's a code? Is it a
Because they're
cultural thing or
just
is it a
they're
mentality?
strict.
Is it a mentality thing?
I think the culture thing, and that they're strict, like tough love. There you go.
Yeah.
Because my mom mentioned it a couple times. Yeah, tough love. Yeah, that yeah too. And people, why are you hitting her in public? I'm like, yes, that's just tough love. It's just to show her that I love her. But I feel like they're using that just to like make everybody think, oh yeah, we love them, but we gotta be tough on them. Yeah, of course, be tough, but at times like comfort your kids and be there for them. Listen to them. There you go. Like listen. I feel like nowadays it's just parents just think, yeah, I'm the parents, you listen.
Yeah.
But if you have time to like hear your kids out, and your kids will give you the respect that you deserve.
Yeah.
Sorry, off topic.
No, it's good. No, that's actually a pretty good topic. It's something that I see that's prevalent. That happens a lot in the community. Because I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of not only kids our generation is watching this, but I'm sure there's also gonna be a lot of Italian parents
Yeah.
they're gonna watch this. So I do want to talk about this topic a little bit more. So you were a child that grew up in a household where you didn't have a great communication from your mom, and she had the old tough love. She raised you in the old tough love type of way. So what does it do to a child when you open up to them, when you show them love and affection, and you listen to them? I just want to give this information to those Tongan parents that's watching this that may watch this and be like, oh man, what they're saying. So it's hard to convince. It's hard to convince her to change them. So I want them to hear from you because you were that child that grew up in that situation. So if you would have had more communication, more affection and more love, and like how what does that do to a child? Like I want to ask you.
It'll just show the kid that you appreciate them, and that you're showing love towards the kid, and you're just being a parent and hear them out. That's something that I just wish my mom. Because looking at it, like now that I have my kids,
Yeah.
if the time and just sit down, okay, let them talk, hear them out first. Of course, mom, they always say their parents are right, even though you're wrong. But give them a chance to voice voice out their feelings, or
Yeah.
what they're hurt by.
Yeah.
Like if my mom was to do that, all those time we clashed, I think I would have like it would have meant our broken relationship. I think it would have bring us closer,
Yeah.
because they would have given me the chance to talk, and then that's when she'll be like, after I talk, then the mom will talk, and then that's when we will be able to kind of like hash it out. It's like, see, okay, that's when I need you to stop doing this, or like, I hear you, but I need you to do this. Follow my. And I think it's just a simple conversation that you and
Yeah.
your kids, instead of yelling, just straight to thoughting. That's just.
You're giving me flashbacks right now. I can see the hey,
Oh.
hey, katak hey.
Yeah.
No, that's true. So because you grew up that way, what are the things that you that developed within you that was actually like a negative because of that situation? Like, did you develop any insecurities? Did you go through any kind of mental health issues because of, or was it hard for you to open up because you went through that situation with your mom? I just want to give some
Yeah.
like,
I just felt rebellious towards her,
yeah.
like so much anger towards her, and it kind of affected how I was. Like, I think it was just the way I would. I would say now fast forward to today, like
Yeah.
I can see some certain traits for myself,
Yeah.
the kids. It's, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like sometimes I act like my mom, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and that's something I don't want to say never, but that's something
Yeah.
I don't, you know, pass on to my kids.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, yeah, that's something that definitely stayed inside. Because sometimes I reacted like, oh, wait, no. I don't want to do that. So,
Yeah, because I noticed that a lot, and I have a lot of like Polynesian friends. Um, they are rebellious, right? And then their parents get mad at them for being
mm,
rebellious, from being rebellious, or for doing things that sometimes just be bottled with, just
yeah.
and that's normal, being a growing up as going into adolescence, being a teenager.
Hmm.
But I think you brought up a great point. Sometimes when I feel like when kids don't feel heard or don't feel love from their parents, sometimes they do things just a way to get attention,
Yeah.
or they find different things as an outlet, whatever it's going out or sneaking out, or
Hmm.
doing things that maybe they shouldn't be doing. But I
Mm.
feel like if you don't find love from a certain place, then you're gonna find it somewhere else,
Yeah.
regardless of what it is. Like, what do you feel? What do you think about that?
Um, yeah, I definitely agree. That's just, it's like a cry, like, you know, like when you go and let's say, for example, go drinking, or you just go out late at night and stay out. Who
Yeah.
cares? I'll just come home and I get the lick. I was gonna say lickings. That's why I'm like getting, you know, spanked.
Yeah.
But you know, then they would just go out, stay out late. And who cares about getting hit when you come back home? You know, they're already
Yeah.
like, oh, they're over it already. You know,
Yeah.
when they go out and drink, like it's like they express their emotion. Because I've been there. Like I went out and I drink and I feel better, and you know, I just wished sometimes I would like cry or break down to my friends.
Yeah.
And even though they're there, they just, you know, they don't really give comfort that you want, you know, because you
Hmm.
want, yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you feel like that also ties into mental health? I know you brought it up.
Hmm.
Mental health. Do you feel like that's why a lot of that tough love, or that that tough love mentality, the way we Tongan kids are mostly raised? I feel like that's why a lot of kids, because a lot of Tongans, a lot of Polynesians deal with mental health because they feel like they can't express themselves,
Yeah,
or they don't feel like they're not heard, and then they just kind of like hold everything in,
yeah. I
and
feel like that's probably one of the reasons why a lot of our people are having that, you know, that state where, because they can't express themselves. If they express it to their parents, they're just gonna turn around and do the same thing, like, like you said,
yeah,
love peace, you
yeah,
know. So, and when they say that, that's when the kids are just like, oh man, like I guess I'll just hold it in. And when you hold it in, it just bottle up, like it just stays. And then one day it'll explode, and you're just, you know, going through this mental breakdown.
yeah.
That's
Did
just,
you
yeah, think about.
Okay? Did you? I mean, do you see that with a lot of your friends and your people? Do you see a lot of your friends go through mental health, or is that something that's talked about a lot?
Yeah, my best friend goes through it all the time. A couple of my friends, a couple of my cousins. So it's really common in our community, the poly community.
Okay. So, how was your? So when you moved to America, how was that transition? How was that experience when you finally moved to America?
It was hard because
Yeah.
you know, just trying to learn English, and you have to like you basically everything. Oh yeah, and I grew up in church. I'm Pentecosti, by the way.
Okay.
So coming out here, you know, I was really spiritual, and I think just moving out here kind of like pushed me away from my relationship with God, because I just felt so out of it. Like, coming out here to America, like, this is not what we used to picture America as, coming here and seeing that we have to pay rent, we have to pay all these bills. And I mean, in my head, I was just thinking, dang, you just stay in the house for free.
Yep.
You do what you want, go uta,
Yeah.
get food there. But when you come out here, like, there's so much just to adjust to it. But now I'm used to it, How many years now?
Why do you feel like that pushed you away from church?
Because
When you
maybe because I was just sad. Like, I always feel like I felt depressed because I'm not used to everything. I'm not
got
used to
you.
around me, and to have uh, adults like my grandparents and my auntie, they're not around anymore, and here I am trying to figure out who this person is, my mom, trying to have relationship with somebody that I felt like is a stranger to me. I
Mm-hmm.
just felt, like, I just felt like I just wanted to just stay in the corner and not do anything, because I wanted to go back to Tonga.
Okay. So, what was the how was it what was your experience when you tried to adapt to the American culture?
Man, like, going school is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, people used to call me fob. But that motivated me, though.
Mm-hmm.
Just going to school. Me and my siblings used to read books just to learn. Read books, watch TV. I remember me and my sister, we would sit in the room and have a conversation, even though it was fob as hell. Yeah, just to practice, because we didn't like, being teased at or called fob. And we used to take the bus. My mom didn't have a vehicle, so we would have to take, transportation through the bus. And it's weird, like, sitting around with strangers, looking around, like, wow, getting from A to B is through this big thing right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, just everything. I was 12, so yeah, it was a lot. I think it was a lot for a 12 years old. And I'm the oldest, by the way, so
Oh.
every sure that, my siblings follow through.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I know you said you were fob. Did you wear like what the traditional fob girl clothes? The gym shorts and and the hoodie to school.
When I came up, like, something about baggy clothes.
Yeah,
I
baggy
I was
clothes.
big shirt, big pants, sweats. My sister knew how to dress. I was a tomboy one. I just love that how comfortable I am in baggy clothes. Now, if you see some of my photo, I'm just like wearing black shirt, black pants. That's all. That's all I need. Yeah.
I know one of my friends from Tonga. He came out here and he was like, man, how come all the American girls wear baggy clothes? And then the girls in Tonga, they drip.
Tell me about it. My cousin do clothes. Yeah, I think that girl's from Tonga. Me.
And I'm talking friend, mas taing ngali Amerika tami All right. So yeah, so how many siblings do you have?
I have 3.
3.
I'm oldest, and my sister is 26, and then my brother is 25, and then I have my little sister, which is 15. She's 15.
Okay. So can you talk about that? How was your experience, like, growing up as the oldest in the family, and then not only oldest, but you're also the oldest daughter.
Mm.
How was that?
So in Tonga, I was known as the bau one, because I like to do my own thing, makaka. And my siblings, my siblings, they're just chill. But
Hmm.
coming, I knew I have like there's a point I needed to step up and be the older sister and set a good
Yeah.
example. You know, um, yeah. There's times where my mom had she remarried somebody else over here, which is my stepdad Gary.
Okay.
Uh, I just felt like I needed to protect him. You know, it's not that he's bad. It's just like you know this is somebody that we don't really know. You know, we
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
with him, and I just need to make sure my siblings are gonna be okay. So I would always watch them. Yeah.
Did you feel like that the was there a lot of expectations placed upon you being the eldest and being the eldest daughter?
Yeah, I would say when I moved to Hawaii, yeah, my mom would expect me to do a lot, like watch my things while she goes out to the trees, you know, a lot of things. The littlest thing I have to like shower them, or make them food, which I don't mind.
Yeah.
I love my siblings, so I'll do anything for them.
Okay. What was being a Tongan woman and growing up like? What was and of course you moved here to America. You're trying to figure out a life out here, trying to make the make a good life out here.
Mm.
Uh, what do you feel like are the what are the things that you feel like in your life that because you grew up Tongan or Polynesian, that kind of that held you from growing to be kind of like to be the best you can be? Because I know a lot of times I feel like I did you mentioned that when you come out here, people saw you, you're from the island, so I know did you get probably people probably didn't expect a lot of you because you're a foul or you didn't speak English. So I know a lot of times those kids grow up that way. They feel like sometimes they feel like they can't make it or they can't excel
Mm.
or do better than most kids because they don't speak English or because they're not from America or they're immigrant, whatever.
Mhm.
So I want to ask you in your experience in your life growing up as a Tongan woman, growing up from coming from Tonga,
Mm.
what are the things that you feel like within our culture that kind of doesn't help us push us to be better, but that kind of holds us back? What do you? I want to ask you that question.
What kind of like push us? But
Yeah, like cultural things. We talked about in our culture we don't really express ourselves that
mm,
much. So
mm,
that can hold us back trying to live, trying to be trying to grow here in America.
yeah,
Uh, but I want to ask you, you're the eldest daughter, plus you're a Tongan woman, and you grew up in the culture. What do you feel like things within our own culture that holds us back? Because it's a traditional. That's just the way we are, or just the way we are raised. But
oh yeah,
doesn't. I want to
okay,
talk about that. I want to talk about that.
yeah. I feel like because everything with our has to be respectful. Yeah, like our
Yeah.
clothes, the way we speak to our elders, and I feel like sometimes people want to do something above and beyond. Then that's when the older folks step in, like, oh no, that's fuck on ma. You're gonna bring shame into the family or whatever. There's always gonna be a talk. Like I feel like it's it's natural for the Tongans to just like yeah, I just feel like that's that's something that's been going on. Like if somebody was to say they want to be a movie star or something else, rather than just become a doctor or a lawyer or whatever, I feel like their mindset is just set on school and um, whatever you can come out of with from college, especially.
Yeah.
But anything, like anything out of that, I feel like they're just like, nah, 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 nah. I want you to do this. I want you to be a nurse. I feel like that. Yeah. Sorry, I'm beating around the bushes to get to my answer.
No, it's good. No, you're good. You're good.
So there you go. I feel like when they want you to do what they expect but I feel
Oh
like
yeah, that's true.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I want you to be a nurse, I want you to be a doctor, I want you to be a police, but they don't really ask you what do you want, what
Yeah.
do you want for your future. There
Yeah.
you go.
Did that did that did that happen to you?
Yeah, because I wanted to play sports, but my mom never really like take us to practices or anything. I wanted to play soccer. I
Yeah.
wanted to play in soccer and also rugby. I used to play rugby in high school. And,
Always.
yeah, I don't think about it. The thing about it. Yeah, I used to play rugby. That's my mom was like, that's a dangerous sport.
Hmm.
Girls shouldn't be playing rugby. That's still that's still her belief until today.
Okay.
Hmm.
And I know, since we're talking about doing things that kind of outside the norm of what they expect you to be. I know you do a lot of TikToks.
Yeah.
So yeah, so if you guys don't know, if you're watching this, she's a famous TikTok star within our Polynesian community. You should definitely check it out. Telephone. You got some good content. You got some good, very positive, some very positive cultural. I love your stuff because you rep Tonga hard.
Thank you.
Mate Tonga. Tease up, but
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, do you face do you face a lot of backlash or criticism for doing that from your own circle, from your own friends and family, from being out there on TikTok?
I know my mom sometimes don't. She she would comment on my things. She would say like, I'm out here preaching and doing live, trying to spread the word, and you're over here doing busy. Take that down. But
Yeah.
I often just like leave it up. But and since I've been doing TikTok, I realized a lot of I see a lot of my friends that are fake.
Ay, talaga no ba? Yeah. Awafi.
I was True Color
Yeah.
and just shows me who's there, who's being supportive. My
Yeah.
husband, I mean, my husband cracks up all the time. He's like, I see, yeah. I don't get this. I love making people laugh, and some of my friends they don't say nothing. Even my people that I thought they're closer to me,
Yeah.
family members. I used to grow up with them. I never see none of them mention anything or even like reach out to me like, hey, wow, I see what you're doing. And it's fine. I get it. Some people they like certain stuff. But like, I think I would have appreciated if they just give me a little feedback.
Yeah.
You're watching this.
Yeah. So I want to ask, what made you get into it though? I want to talk about that. What made you get into TikTok?
Gosh, long story short, I started a YouTube with my family.
Okay.
I was inspired by the Ace family. They started off really small. So I'm the type of person I like to pull pranks on people. So
Yeah.
I like to put pranks on my husband. But I
Oh man.
started YouTube, and then it was okay. I see a few people supporting, but then TikTok came around. TikTok
Yeah.
around, and I like the fact that you can do everything on there, and it's just a 15 seconds or 1 minute.
Yeah.
So I started doing it at work, and then from work, I did some at home, started doing the Tongan one, and some people liked it. I was like, wow, I think I'm doing something here. Maybe I should keep up.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I think my video started getting big when I started doing stuff with my coworkers. Because
Hmm.
and it was super slow. Just know that, everyone. It was super slow. That's why TikTok ain't work. It's
Just cutting off from work.
not that we just out of nowhere and go and start filming while everybody's working. Not no the airport, and we were grateful to still be able to work. So that's when the idea came. We're like, hey, maybe we should start doing our own little worker thing, and put smile on people's face,
Yeah.
And from there, I feel like now a lot of people know me as the airport girl. But out of that, I want to get out of that, known as the Tonga girl. Like, yeah, that's the Tonga girl. She works at the airport.
The town girl from the airport.
Yeah.
I do. No, I see you. I see you have a lot of. You enjoy it. I can tell you enjoy. You have a lot of fun doing it. That's why I feel like it's kind of. That's why I feel like your content's pretty cool.
You.
Yeah, but I do want to talk about that because I feel like a lot of times, there's a lot of Polynesian kids or Tongan kids that they want to do certain things outside their comfort zone, outside the mode of the culture of what their parents expect them to do.
Mm-hmm.
What in your experience, like, what would you you have kids now.
Mm-hmm.
How do you raise your kids now to push them towards what they want to do in life compared to how you were raised?
Like if I see them, if they're into like a certain thing, like if my kid mentioned that he likes to play soccer, I would try a program that's around my area to put him in, just to have him start. And if he doesn't like it, it's okay. Let's try something else. Just supportive what you want. And if they make it big, yeah, it's good on the parents.
Instead of doing TikToks at the airport, you can do it a private jet.
There.
Yeah, because I think that's one thing. I think you just said it. Support, right? I feel like I feel like that's something I think a lot of us need is just because I feel like man, as Tongans, man, we have as much as potential than anybody else.
Yeah.
We can do anything. We can be doctors. We can be lawyers. We can be millionaires, rocket science, whatever whatever we want to do. But I feel like what stops us is just support. We don't really have support from home or from our environment or from our circle, and we're
not motivated to do it, right?
Yeah, and then we don't want to. Of course, growing up, we don't want to. We want to fit in, right? We want to fit in like everybody else. We want to be part of the group, part of the family. We don't want to be talked about. We don't want to be people get mutu loud,
proud. Yeah.
Yeah, we want to make them proud, and that's why I feel like that's why a lot of kids, end up, like you said, doing things that they don't even like doing, or never even trying. So yeah, like I feel like, but let me ask you, like, what do you why do you feel like there's not a lot of support? Like, what, like, in your opinion, like, how come we're not as supportive as when it comes to, is it just the old way of thinking?
I think there's just no offense. It's not for like, I'm not, this is just my opinion. I think they're just minded. They're not, like what I mentioned earlier, being free minded.
Yeah.
If they do stuff, willing to try, if they're willing to try, and I think it's the thought of failing or the thought of just not wanting the kids to fail. They just want them to be accomplished, and their way of thinking is that's the way to be accomplished.
Go to school, right? Go to school and
go to college. That's big in our community. They want us to go to college, get degrees.
Did you go to college?
I did go to college. I went to college criminal justice, but then I ended up changing my mind after I worked at this cruise, and it's all about customer service. And I love working with people, and I feel like I'm too nice police officer. Like, this whole career goal. That's why I went to school for college, but then I ended up dropping out. I can go back for
Yeah.
another maybe. But
Was
that
that a
later.
was that
Go
an
ahead.
easy decision to make when you decided to drop out? Or was it hard? Or was it a hard decision to make, knowing that if you drop out, then people are gonna say something?
It was hard.
Yeah.
Time I was living with my dad's family, and she didn't really expect me to do anything, and she was just there for me. But it was hard because I was thinking about what my mom was gonna say, or what because my grandparents, my mom graduated,
Yeah.
so yeah, it was hard because I knew I was gonna hear it from my grandparents or my mom. My mom.
What did you hear? Anybody? Did you hear what? Did you hear anything? Did you hear any negative things people said about you when you decided to drop out? Did you hear anything?
No,
No.
you're probably back.
Yeah, and yeah, I feel like what you said, that's true, because um, I think within our culture, you know, our parents live through the children, so that's why they push kids to go to college, not necessarily because they. I'm not saying this is maybe this is not for all parents, but what I see sometimes is sometimes they push kids not necessarily because they want kids to be successful. They just want their kids to be successful, so they're seeing their family is seen as successful, so it looks good on them as a parent.
Yeah.
So it's not more. So it's less what's best for the child. It's more of like, oh, I want my kids to go. So people don't talk about my
Mm,
family. The people don't say anything. So
mm,
like, what do you think about it? Because I see that a lot. And I've had an interview with a couple girls on this podcast before, and they mentioned that
mm.
that then sometimes as parents, like, they care more about what everybody, they care more about what people are gonna say
Yeah.
more than what the kid feels to be happy.
No, I totally agree with that. I totally agree with what you just said. And it might not um apply to every parents, but I feel
Yeah,
like majority, because
yeah,
God, you should see how my grandpa, when my mom graduated, my grandpa walked around at church holding out her picture to my daughter got her mask, blah blah blah. And they always talk about how, kids should be successful to make the name, be proud of their name. Be like, yeah, that's my daughter.
yeah, yeah.
So definitely agree. I definitely agree with what you said.
I know, and yeah, I see that happens a lot. And did you ever feel like that you had to live up to your family's expectations of what they wanted you to be? Oh, let me ask you, what did they want you to be, like, as far as like your family? What did or your mom? What did she want you to be?
She did wanted me to be a police.
Police.
And,
Okay.
but I did agree to be a police because but the time I thought about it, it was just the thought of like being a police. Oh, that's so cool. Nobody, and she also mentioned that, yeah, nobody in the family has ever, became a police. So when she mentioned that, that's when you kind of can tell, like, yeah, I feel like she just, yeah, trying to make the family proud by having a daughter that's being a police officer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, and what about your siblings? Your siblings, do they have? Are they doing their own path, or do they have a certain path they're trying to live?
My brother is still in school.
Okay.
He got his AA already, but he's continuing with school to go. I don't really talk to him about his career because he's still trying to figure it out himself.
Hmm.
But he's in school, so I'm happy for him. My my other sister, she has her family, her little family, and they're committed to church. They're worship leaders at the Pentecost in Hawaii.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I know
Okay.
my mom. Trust me, my mom always throw out like, "Oh, I wish you guys would have went to school and stuff," But she's happy. She's happy now because we have grandkids. She has grandkids.
Okay. So you're in the Pentecost church, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, Pentecost, right? So yeah, so how I do want to ask about that. So you know how I know I'm sure your faith is pretty you really you I know you probably believe in what you believe, but what do you feel like? Because American, because one thing I noticed about a lot of Polynesians, because we all grew up in church, all of us,
Mm-hmm.
right? We whether you're Catholic, Pentecost, Pentecosti, or whatever religion you are.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Sometimes they feel like it's sometimes because I know our community can be really hardcore when it comes to church,
Mm-hmm.
but and at the same time we're trying to live a American life. We're trying to live out, have fun, be normal,
Yeah.
have a social life, go out and have fun.
Yeah.
So did you find it hard, to live a normal American life
Yeah.
and still be able to, because I know sometimes at church that they want us to be spiritually perfect,
Yeah.
whatever that means.
Yeah.
Good number. So did you ever deal with that? Like feel like they have to be perfect spiritually, but then at the same time,
Yeah.
yeah,
It was really hard because um, when I used to go to the other church in Hawaii, I felt like I was pretending to be somebody. We used to do like action songs, skits, and stuff, and you know, not they wouldn't expect us to go all out, but I just felt like that was the whole idea of having like a youth is for us to show our faith through our action songs. And they used to talk about it all the time, like, you guys are doing so good, praise God, you guys are doing God's work. But I felt like I didn't really my relationship was with God wasn't strong. Like, it was just going to church, practice songs, and you feel the Holy Spirit. But do you really read your word to, like, be connected with God? And that's the thing I wasn't doing. It was just pretending.
like you were just going through the motions.
Yeah, I was just going through the motions. And hey, I know everybody's gonna be watching this, but I was. Yeah. And at the time, well, I was like maybe 15.
Yeah.
So and this was in the Tongan church too, Tongan Pentecosti.
Mm-hmm.
But we started going after I got married. We started going to a Palangi church, and I was able to like really experience God's presence, and that's what drew me closer to God. Like,
Well, what
really,
was the difference? What was the difference between before
between
and after? Yeah,
yeah.
that made you feel like that you were drawn closer to God when you went to the Palangi church. What was different?
What was different is that, of course, we at the Tongan church there was always like service for the youth, but I felt like we didn't have that 101 where we would uh, leave out everything, you know, not get me distracted, but just having that relationship with God, either you're singing or just reading a word or praying. We had that at the Tongan church, but I feel like when I went to the Palangi church, they took us out and we went to a camp, and it was just us. It was just women and men's encounter. That's what they call it. And when you
Mm-hmm.
have the encounter, we will go out. We would leave our phone at home. It was just us, like kind of like isolate the whole world, and it was just basically us and God. And we will have like little small meetings every week with the ladies, and we share our experience of what we went through, our struggles. They would give us scriptures. I feel like they just had like more to give out, I guess. I don't know how to put it in words, but the Tongan church, it was good. Like, I love the fact that the bond that we had, but I just felt like I was close to God when I went to the Tongan church. It was more like I went to church because I wanted to go with my friends. I wanted to see my friends at church. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, like I was looking forward to go to church because of my friends. But when I went to the Palangi church, they had like more outlet. There you go. They had more outlet for us to go and join with other people, other strangers, and just talk about God and praying for each other. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it's like the more programs
Yeah.
in the Balanga church. Okay. And what's something about that experience that helps you a lot when it comes to your faith? Like how does that help you a lot, especially in difficult times in your life?
A lot of it helped me a lot of scripture. You know, I can just read a scripture and it just makes me feel comfort. I can
Mm-hmm.
feel, and yeah, I know God's everywhere. Um, I'm getting lost.
No,
Right.
so okay, I'll give you another question, make it easy. No, so what do you say to a lot of those? So I know there's a lot of talented kids out there. They they do believe in God, and they have and they love their church, but sometimes when you're young, you go, you have fun, whatever activity that you do, whether you're drinking or smoking, but then sometimes like they just feel like that they're not either worthy enough or clean enough. Because we try to, a lot of kids try to hide it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they struggle with that, right? They try to have a fun life, but then you
Mm-hmm.
know they know on Sunday I have to act this way.
Mm-hmm.
So like, what do you feel like is like the best way to deal with that situation? And if that
Um,
makes sense.
just I feel like you just um be able to come out and confess. I know a lot of time we got because we were in the band and
Yeah.
we were to have that relationship with your pastor and you be able to like be open and tell them what you did.
Hmm.
I feel important. Um, we would do something and we would come back and we'll confess to our pastor. And yeah, of course, our pastor would discipline us. He would take us off the band until we're we take the we go to what is it called? We go to like some program to just talk about what we did, like drinking, not smoking.
Yeah.
I feel like if you have a strong relationship with your pastor and you're able to share anything, um, that'll be able to help the youth come out and express their feelings or what they went through.
Okay. All right. So I do want to talk about like I do want to talk about relationships.
Uh-huh.
All right. So yeah. So right now, because I know you have husbands, you're married, you have your kids. So how was getting in relationships when you were here in America?
How?
Yeah, like what was your what being a Tongan woman, you know, trying to date, right?
Uh,
Because in our culture, they have certain things, certain ways, especially when it comes to dating,
mhm,
especially if you're a man or a guy or a woman.
mhm.
So how was your experience being a Tongan woman and trying to date new people and and find love in your life? Was it hard because of all the traditions of you're not supposed to go outside or you have to stay in the house? How was
Uh,
that?
I think mine was just simple because I met my husband at church and we were young.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, I was 16 and he was 17. And oh, sorry, he was 18.
yeah,
Yeah, I met him, and from there we hung out a lot. And what you meant by that, yeah, I totally understand because a lot of people were. I love that just the older folks will look at you like, oh, those two kids should be hanging around by themselves. But during that time, yeah, that's the time when I was going through a lot with my mom. So I felt like my husband, he was my boyfriend at the time.
hmm
He really helped me get through a lot because I could have turned into drugs and stuff, but just to have my boyfriend there and going to the same church, that's what kept me going. And we didn't really care what other people say, actually.
yeah,
And when I was 21 and he was 23.
yeah,
It was yeah, mine is pretty simple. I just know a lot of people that I know that were close to me. they talk. But,
Yeah.
well, I'm happy.
I know, right? Usually the people that talk are the lonely people. They don't have anybody. Stop talking. Go find yourself need some love. Go find some love for your own life.
I think somebody.
So I do want to talk about a little bit more about being free-minded, right?
Mhm.
So I know just based on what you shared today that you're a free-minded person.
Mhm.
So how do you were you always like that in the beginning in real life? Were you always free-minded, or when did you decide to be like, okay, I'm gonna be free-minded, I'm not gonna care what people say, I'm just gonna do me? Like, how did you get to that point?
Um. Yeah, I wasn't like that when I first moved out to America because I still had that, like, oh my God, I wouldn't be able to wear tank top because I
Yeah,
felt so. I grew up like you're not supposed to show your shoulder or whatever,
yeah,
or long skirts.
yeah.
And when I came out here, it was I started. I guess the whole with my just me and my mom, like it pushed me to a point where uh like, you know what? I gotta do stuff for myself. That's when I moved out 18 when I was 18. And I
Hmm.
started doing stuff for myself and I noticed like, you know, it's only me at the end of the day, at the of course during that time I was by myself. At the end of the day, it's only you. You're the one that's gonna make it for yourself.
Hmm.
And do whatever. You just if you feel like you need to do this to get to that point, do it. If you spent time worrying about what other people say, you're just gonna end up like digging yourself into a hole. And you're not gonna want to do anything after that.
Hmm.
And I find a lot like nowadays a lot of decisions that I make is just from being free minded. Like who cares? Who cares what people are gonna say? They're
Yeah.
not here to help me pay my bills at the end of the day. So
Yep.
yeah, you do what makes you happy.
Yeah. So did you do what are the things that did you do? Like, did you read books, or did you try to? Was it just like you just decided one day, you know what, I'm just not gonna care? Because I know there's a lot of kids or talking kids or girls and guys out there that want to live their own life, want to be free minded, and want to just do their own thing, but they just don't know how.
Mm.
So like,
It's just
what?
It's just from my experiences. I didn't read any book or anything. It's just from my experiences. And sorry, not books, but yeah, watching watching YouTube. Yeah, there you
Okay,
go.
yeah, yeah, okay.
I go every time I go on somebody's YouTube, I would go all the way back to when they first started. And there's so much people that like you'll question how the heck did they get up to this point? And you go all the way back and you see where they started. They were just regular people, just like you and me.
Hmm.
That's when I'm just like, okay, you know what? That's it. I gotta put all this little, all this negative thoughts away and just be free minded.
Yeah.
What you think you want to do, you can do it, and just be determined.
How's that helped you now? Like, what are the things that have you achieved in your life now because you were free minded, that you know for a fact that if you weren't free minded, that you probably wouldn't have done in your life? So what are certain things in your life that you accomplished because you had an open mind and you had the courage to act upon it?
Um, I just felt like when I got married at the age of 22 and having kids, because I
Hmm.
know having kids. I I have 3 kids now,
Hmm.
and back then I wasn't thinking about kids. I was just thinking
Hmm.
about career, like what I wanted to do. But being a mom is like something I really love. Being a mom to my kids,
Hmm.
and I can say that I don't think I accomplished anything, but just the fact that I have a great life and I enjoy my life. I enjoy where I'm at now. Um, just being with my in-laws. Yeah. But I am working towards a goal though. Then I accomplish something. But
Got you. Okay.
yeah.
Are there certain things that you do in your life? I'm just interested because because you're independent, you like to do what you want to do. Is there certain things you do in your life that's kind of like outside the norm of what a Tongan woman should be, or what our culture expects you to be? Besides TikTok.
Yeah.
besides TikTok, yeah. But is there anything else you do in your life that that people may not agree with because it's not normal within our own culture of being Tongan or of a Tongan woman?
Right. Let me think. Maybe sometimes like the way like my appearance. Like I like to do crazy stuff with my hair. I like. Yeah. It's like I'm wearing contacts right now. Yeah. Yeah. Just I'm not your ordinary mom. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Like I expect a mom to just be a mom.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like to be a fun, adventurous mom. I like to dress up certain way, take my kids out and go on adventures, hiking. I feel like a lot of people have some opinion about that, but oh well.
Okay.
This is
That's cool.
Yeah.
No, because I feel like that when being free-minded and being comfortable who you are and not worrying what people think, I think that's very pivotal, especially when it comes to happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't. This is my opinion. I don't believe you can be happy if you're not free to be who you are and free to think the way you want to think.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I feel like that's if you can't be yourself and to be comfortable of being yourself and thinking the way you want to think about how you want to live your life, I don't think you can find happiness in that.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times I feel like that a lot of the problems within our community and our culture, especially with Tongans, is they're just not either they're not in an environment where it allows them to be themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So happiness is I feel like that. Do you feel like sometimes that happiness is not something that we talk about a lot in our own culture? We talk about expectations. Hey, if I don't listen to your parents, do this, take care of the fatongia, take care of the responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about all these things, but the word happiness never gets floated around
Yeah.
in our in our childhood. Like, I mean, I'm just thinking about it right now. I've never had a conversation with my own parents, like, and I never for them to ask me, "Hey, are you happy?"
Yeah.
Like the word happiness is like a foreign term. So it's only a term that we learned outside of our household.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I want to talk about that. You feel like that's something that needs to be talked about, and I feel like happiness is an important role within our culture. I feel like our culture is very. I know I had a conversation with one of my friends, and she said that the only way we could change things in our community is that we have to change the way we think. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We're very traditional when it comes to how we raise and what's expected of us.
Mm-hmm.
We do have great traditions. We have great traditions.
Yeah.
One thing I love about the Tongan people is we're very giving. We're very loving people. We like to help out. We will help our family, parents, neighbors. We take care of we take care of our elders. We don't send them. We don't know. But I think the one thing that maybe we may be lacking in, which is why I feel like there's a lot of people that suffer with mental health, is the freedom of expression. Within our culture. So I do want to ask you about that. What do you think about that? Like, as far as your experience,
Mm-hmm.
trying to be yourself growing up,
Mm-hmm.
what you see from your friends. I'm sure you have friends that that have to try to beat themselves, but maybe they can't because from either they're afraid to because of what people say or their family or whatever. So what do you feel like? What do you feel? I mean, what do you think about that? As far as our culture not being a culture where it's very free to be yourself or supportive to be yourself. What do you think?
Don't get me wrong. I love our culture. I love everything about
Yeah.
culture, but and stuff that I feel like it's a bit too much to put over your loved ones or your children. Um, and I would just think simple, like just having a conversation. I think conversation really help, you know, um, accomplish something in your family. Like I mentioned before, just taking the time to sit down and hear your kids out, ask them questions like, "Are you okay?" Like, you want to talk about something, and just being open to hearing what your kids are gonna share. You know, and if they don't agree, it's okay. Wait until they're done talking, and then yeah, just be able to share.
Be able to share, right? Not only with your kids, but also I think with everyone, right? Have you ever had that conversation? Have you ever had a conversation with your uh own friends and family and telling them, hey, this is my life, this is how I want to live, this is how I think, you
Mm.
know. Have you had that conversation before?
We always have this conversation. My in-laws,
Yeah.
we have a great thing where we do like family nights, and we talk about how we feel, and we just lay out everything, and it's a great feeling after you you express everything out because you get to hear everyone out, and they'll be able to give you a little advice.
Hmm.
So I learn a lot from my in-laws, from them. And I, yeah, of course, some stuff I do that they don't agree, but I tell them this is how I want it. So it's just all communication. It's easy.
What are the biggest things that you guys tend to disagree on?
Um,
How we see things?
oh, with my in-laws.
Oh well, when you know, no, not necessarily in-laws, but just like when you have meetings like that, when you have conversations that with the elders, right, with the OGs,
Yeah.
like what is something that is usually that you guys clash or don't see eye to eye on? What like are there any topics regarding how our generation how we live our life?
Uh, let's see. I guess just the way. Oh, because I used to be in my father-in-law. Um, he's a very wise man. Um, and he knows a lot, but it's just him wanting the same thing, wanting us to be good parents to our kids because he sees some stuff that we do that's not like he just doesn't agree. Because I don't really have any older folks here that are Tongan that I can talk to them and be
Oh,
agreed.
okay.
Mainly my
Gotcha.
in yeah, but I would say like your question. Yeah, we always clash how we raise the kids because it's the same thing, like they
Yeah,
want
yeah.
thing, but we want this for our kids. But they love their grandkids, and they just want the best for them as well.
Well, what's something that you do? How do you? What's something that you do when you raise your kids that's different from how you were raised?
Um,
That you decided that you changed for yourself because you feel like, okay, when I finally have kids, I'm gonna do it this way because it didn't work out for me growing up. So
mhm.
what are things that you do with your kids now that you made sure that you wouldn't repeat from how you were raised?
Just spending time with them, spending time and listening to their their little talks.
Yeah.
You might not understand what they're saying, but just having your just being present to them, being there and listening to them. It
Hmm.
makes them loved. I see my kids, they always say, I love you, I love you, I love you. They throw the I love you out like nothing. That didn't happen. My my I love you if we're flying somewhere, but at home it's just like, you know, I see my kids, when they say that the way your kids, the way your kids treat other people is what they see from their parents.
Yeah.
So my kids are very loving. So we try to show more, affection and give the kids more love. Yeah.
I know that's true. You don't really hear the word "I love." Usually, when you watch movies, because that's it. Super fun. Man. All right. So no. So yeah, I do want to talk about you for yourself. Like, what are your goals? What are your goals and things you're passionate about for your life?
My goal is I do want to at least go back to school and finish.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for me to find something that I want to do because I keep changing. I did go back to school like not too long ago, and then I ended up like very good. I don't want to do this one anymore. But I do want to go back and maybe find something that I'm passionate about. I do love taking care of people. I love talking to people, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, maybe I'll end up in being a RN. Maybe I don't know. I'm still praying about it. But right now I'm just my okay. One of my goals is to get back in the ministry and go travel and be able to like minister and be able to save souls and preach the word of God, the gospel, preach the gospel. There you go. Yeah.
Oh, Pafikao?
Yeah,
Oh, it's okay. All right, Pafikao Eli. Okay, if you do become a Pafikao, I'm definitely gonna have to do another interview with you as a Pafikao. Hey, so Pafikao. I'm gonna test you. I'm gonna be like, hey, what is John chapter 3 verses? With Pafikao mo ni with Pafikao lo. All right, so I'm gonna keep that in my back pocket just in case if I do see an update on your Instagram or something that you're Pafikao now or something, get that certificate. Or I'm like, okay, just I need to test this out to see.
Yeah.
That's good. No, that's good. So, what for you, from looking back at who you are now as a Tongan woman and looking back to who you used to be before, what are your strong attributes now that you have as a Tongan woman that you probably didn't necessarily have before growing up?
Um, Maybe just being able to speak out,
Mm-hmm.
even though bau and ngata when I was a kid, but I was really quiet when I was out here. Some people bullied me, and now I'm just like, you ain't gonna bully me now. Yeah, like able to like defend myself and be able to have that voice. I feel like I have that voice now, and I'll be able to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Growing up, did you? Because one thing I do listen to, a lot of my Polynesian friends, and especially when it comes to the girls, a lot of them, they have their insecure, like a lot of insecurities within women and Polynesian women, especially when it comes to their image and their body or how they look. Did you
Right.
did you ever experience that growing up? You know, uh, looking at yourself and then comparing yourself to all the other girls, but Tongans, we're built different.
Yeah. I struggle nowadays,
Yeah,
Yeah, like I mentioned before, I was a tomboy.
yeah, yeah.
it was hard for me to wear girly clothes, even putting makeup on. But yeah, I
Well,
used to talk to a lot of people, and I started doing eyeliner. That was things that I started doing when I was little, just because I felt like I issues with my big eyes.
mhm.
So I put the eyeliner on, it will bring my eyes smaller. So yeah.
What's open your eye, hey, open your eyes big real quick. Let me see the difference. Like,
Yeah. Eyes get yeah, just that. And then I dye my hair a lot. I don't know. I just feel good doing all this other stuff to, I dye my hair, I put contacts on. I even go get like extension, like lashes extension.
yeah. So, so you said that you went through, you did feel that way early growing up. So what did you do to like to overcome your insecurities and feel, better and more beautiful about yourself? Like, did you do anything? How
Just
did you grow out of it?
I just started doing like small things, like how I didn't like wearing tank tops.
Mm-hmm.
I started tank tops, and I felt confident. After a while, started wearing skinny jeans. Started feeling comfortable because I was skinny back then. I mean, saying I was small.
Yeah,
But yeah, the way I treated myself back then is I felt like I was big because I always wear big clothes. I never really wanted to do my hair, but I started doing stuff and I felt better. I started doing my hair. That's how I got into like. That's how I love doing hair now because I started doing changing up my hairstyle. I would love the way I look and started changing the clothes I wear. Yeah, my appearance.
yeah.
That's how
Did
it
you?
started. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you were like when you said you were a tomboy, like you wore big clothes. Did you wear big clothes because you were a tomboy, or did you wear big clothes or because you were like kind of insecure of your own body?
I think it was both. It
Yeah.
was both. I like baggy pants, and I used to look up to people that I used to go church with, and they would wear baggy clothes, and it just makes them look good. And I like the fact that I didn't show any of my body parts. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy to think about it. I used to think that I was, like big, but I was so small. I was so small. Yeah, so it was both.
Yeah, I do see a lot of well, Polynesian girls now in our generation. Uh they're more free when it comes to how they dress now.
Hmm.
So what are your thoughts what are your thoughts about that? Because I know a lot of girls now they wear whatever they want. They want to
Hmm.
express they want to express their sexuality. Uh, a lot of them wear where a lot of it now wear more clothing wear clothes that are more revealing. So
Um,
being a woman, like being a Tongan woman, what are your thoughts about that? Because I know in our culture, wearing revealing for a woman to wear revealing clothes, that can be a negative, that can be looked down upon. But what do you think about that?
so this is what I think about it because man, I still have that belief. You should be able to be show for apa-apa. So I feel like to the certain extent where
Mm-hmm.
it's okay to wear clothes that shows your body because you're still young. You're still young, of course, but not to a point where you show like wear like slit or show it. I just feel like if you maybe going out with the girls, but I don't know if you're married or you're going out to a family function, just to be mindful. Yeah, I think just being mindful of where you're going for the girls. This is just my opinion.
Yeah,
If
yeah, it's just yours.
they want to wear whatever they want to wear, but if you're gonna go somewhere where you have family members, uncles and brothers, I think I think it should be a great idea to just wear something. You can wear it, but somebody maybe cover up that part, or yeah. But if you're going out with your girls or and you're not married, of course. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think it's self-awareness, right? Being aware of your surroundings. I think there's a time. I think there's a saying. There's a time and place for everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
There you
yeah. The time of place to be. Go review. Where you want to be. Expressive, especially how you want to show yourself. That's
go.
fine. That's everybody's entitled to live their own life. But then I believe there's also a time. You need to be respectful of who you are and where you of the place.
I think
It could
that's
be.
what's important when we're put in that position as a Tongan woman when you have to make that decision. like I'm Tongan, but I still want to go out and have fun and wear all this. I think that's one that's something that I struggle with, being able to like express themselves in what they wear.
Yeah. And then especially, I do see when talking to women, when you guys wear certain things, and then a lot of times the criticism comes with it,
Oh yeah.
and then the
Oh,
and the first thing they say, "Hey, whose daughter is that?" Isn't
that's
that isn't that thing's daughter right there? That's what They don't. They don't even say your. They don't even say your name. You just say whose daughter. That's the first thing they say. How way, sige. Tahine ko eh. And then I'm like, go fair.
where?
No, it's good. No, so yeah, so I want to ask you about, because I feel like one of the good things I like about when your TikTok, the content that you produce is empowering. It empowers women. Sometimes you do TikToks that's comedy, but then you do a lot of TikToks that's really inspiring too. That's when it comes to representing a culture. When it comes to just, I think I've seen a couple of TikToks you've done where you just, being beautiful, showing women to be beautiful, to be who they are. So I like you have so much that your TikToks are diverse. Because there's some TikTok people, they just one thing, they do the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it gets repetitive. Sometimes, like when they post a new TikTok, I already know what it is because it's like the same thing they do.
Right,
But like yours, it's really diverse. So like, yeah, I do want to talk about women empowerment. So like, what do you do in your life to not only empower yourself as a woman, but do you also do other things that I may not be aware of, or people may not be aware of, that you do to not only to empower people around you, especially when it comes to Polynesian women?
It's funny that you mentioned that because I am working on. I reach out to a few of the ladies, the girls who from all over. I feel like I just need to embrace like our Pacific women, not just the poly community, but like from outside, like the Micronesian, the Fijian, the Melanesians. So I did reach out to a few. I'm working on like one video to kind of show off the women of the Pacific.
Yeah,
I just feel like some of my video, I just try to like show that it's okay to be comfortable in your clothes, whatever you want to wear.
mm-hmm.
But like sometimes the little girls, especially going on TikTok and see all these girls wearing crop tops, and I feel like that's set in their mind, like, yeah, I have to be like this and that to look cute.
Yeah.
And no, like if you just have fun and give good vibes on your video, that's all that matters. I feel like good vibes, it brings people to you. It brings a lot of smiles to people. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'll probably put it up this week. Yeah, I'll probably do more with the women, the Pacific women.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely look forward to see that. Make sure you represent Tonga hard. Go hard. Go hard. So, women empowerment, women, I do believe that, we should empower each other. Men should empower other men, women should empower other women. But I do also know that women can be judgmental and it can be nasty sometimes. So, do you, in your experience, when it comes to women empowerment and Polynesian women, is it are most are more a lot of women response? Do they respond well to that, or do you see there's still a lot of women out there just still hating and trying to discourage other women and like this? Like, what's your experience of what you see overall?
um, Most of the time, I see a lot of people, going with it,
Yeah,
but maybe like that 2% are just like, oh, here we go again, or whatever. They just put their 2 cents, and that's the, those are the type of people I want to ignore.
yeah.
Not even those people. I want to give my attention to the other half that's going along with it. And I feel like we really need that in our community, women empowerment.
What's like the worst comment that you ever received on TikTok?
Uh, I'm trying to wait. Worst, which one? um, there was one that really pissed me off. Like, oh, they're just saying like, oh, if you spend all that time on here, oh, you should go spend time with your kids more than spending all that time on TikTok. And I'm just like, first of all, TikTok is only 15 seconds or 30 or
Yeah.
60 versus what I do the whole day. But I never replied to that comment. I try, like, that's the thing, like, I try not to reply to negative comments because that just shows, it'll give them the idea that, yeah, it's getting to me.
Yeah.
So whatever. Ignore.
Have you ever replied to some comments and like had a back and forth with somebody?
Uh, yeah, I think it was just just work. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
from deals. But it wasn't poly people, it was Balangi people coming for me.
Palangi people.
Think that we're stealing time from the company. We're like, what do you mean? Our boss is like encouraging this. But
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
just got to stop. I didn't reply after.
Yeah. Like, the Palangi guy on your I see there's a Palangi guy on your videos that dances. Like, is he? Do you guys teach him that, or he already knew that?
No, we taught him that.
Yeah.
We taught
I thought he was like half a costume or something. Or
no, we taught him that. Yeah, we taught him that. He's cool.
okay. What do you plan to What do you plan to do with TikTok? You just gonna keep making videos? Is there any plans for that? Like, do you want to take it to a? Is there other plans for you? Do you have for TikTok, or is it just something you do for fun?
It's just something I do for fun, honestly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it when I do, it just brings me like a good feeling. If I'm having a bad day and I do something, it's like, oh, I like that TikTok. It put a smile on my face. Yeah, it's something. Um, Not only that, but they have this pro account where if
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
you can make a little off of it. So
Have you made some money off of your TikTok?
yeah, not much, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful for what I got.
I know. I know. You gotta have.
Yeah.
Yeah. You probably. I was. I think I was reading up on that about how TikTok pays out.
Yeah.
But yeah, you gotta have be like millions and millions of followers or something like to get
I think you just have to hit like 40K, I think. 40K?
40K as far as the views or the followers.
Followers. I think followers. And once you hit, no, I think they change it. It's either, I think it's less, maybe when you hit, I think 10K, maybe. I don't know, maybe because anybody can do it. That's what I'm saying. Like, what's stopping anybody? These people jump on and just do stupid stuff and they get all this tons of views and tons of followers. Why can't we do that? So
I know.
I don't know. It's fun. I do hit a goal where I can make a little bit more, then I'll probably start thinking of like an actual content that I can follow, not just random stuff where I jump from here and there.
Yeah, is it me or like I remember when I first got on TikTok, it was probably like in May. I think it was in May of this year. I think it was March or May.
Yeah.
I remember when I first got on TikTok, there was always a lot of content, like quality content as far as like videos, like
Yeah.
funny videos. People who actually put time and effort into making funny videos. But now I don't see that no more. It's just people making dancing videos. I don't know if you see that on your For You page.
No, yeah, I see that a lot. It's just dancing.
Because before I used to see your videos. I used to see that's what inspired me to make my own videos. When I used to just be fucking on there too when I first got on.
Exactly.
But then I noticed lately that I don't see any more people making like funny videos no more. Like act like I think the one you just made the other day was like the Lucipi one. I saw
Uh,
I saw you made the Lucipi video. That was pretty funny too.
and we were just hiking and
But yeah, so that's what I'm saying. When I first got on TikTok around March and May, I saw a lot of that. People making funny videos, acting out,
yeah.
But now I don't see. I see none of that no more. It's just like the dancing videos, or people just it's just I don't see that no more. So I thought it was maybe it was just me.
Yeah, but I feel like if you do if you search things and you continually like watching that content, it'll start popping up. It'll start popping up on your feed.
Oh, okay, that's why. Yeah, I haven't.
Maybe
I,
that's-
I just go to post my videos and then I don't really spend time looking. But maybe I should start doing that. Go find those videos again because I used to like that because sometimes when I watch that, it inspire me to do. Right,
Yeah.
idea will pop up and let me try something like that, but maybe a little bit different.
Yeah.
No, it's man, we had we pretty. I'm trying to think of there was something. Something that's popped in my head. I wanted to ask you. I'm trying to think. Give me 1 second. Oh no. When you first moved here to America, right? When you first moved here to America, trying to adapt and transition,
Mm-hmm.
did you find it hard to learn the American culture, but at the same time you wanted to be Americanized but not lose your identity as a Tongan? Like, did you ever deal with that problem?
Yeah, actually, um, I maybe I don't know. Just going back to my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Though I was raised up in Tonga, I wasn't taught a lot of the Tongan culture,
Yeah.
where you like the Olunga and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I grew up just as a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is just going to church. Of course, we would have like all those gathering the katoanga and stuff, but I wasn't really. Maybe my grandma just never really informed us a lot about. There's a lot of Tongan things that I'm just now learning from a lot of the older folks here. But just growing up in Tonga, we would go to church, come home. They were heavy on that, like being Christian.
Mm-hmm.
But yet I'm still proud. Like I'm still proud to be Tongan. But coming to America, um, yeah, it was hard. It was just hard to try to fit into stuff like Americanized, but
Mm-hmm.
yet knowing in your head you're Tongan, you're not supposed to be doing that. You know.
Give me examples. The PG-13 ones. PG-13 ones.
So, just staying out late at night, hanging out with guys,
Yeah. Which is
I,
normal. I think that's normal. That's a normal behavior. I feel like, yeah.
I feel because I get along with guys more than I
Yeah.
get along, but just hanging out with guys, back in Tonga, I don't think that's okay to just hang out with a group of guys,
Yeah.
just hanging out with guys, or eating at the, what is it called? Eating your going back to all those Tongan stuff, like eating your father's leftover,
Oh, yeah, yeah, eating your parents' food. Yeah,
or hanging out in your brother's room, stuff
yeah.
like, yeah. It was hard to adapt to it, but then Tongans don't come for me. Maybe I live here longer enough to just be like, oh, we're in America now. Maybe just there's certain things that we should acknowledge, and other stuff we should leave in Tonga. Yeah.
So what's your perspective on that? Like, do you because you learn about the culture itself. So are you pro culture, Tongan culture? Are you pro American, or are you just pro? Or you just took the good and the bad from both sides, and
Yeah.
no, top sorry, you took the good from both sides and
Yeah.
made your own culture. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like what did you do?
Um, let me process this.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
um,
Yeah, because I'll give you an example because that's something I hear a lot, right?
mm,
From our elders, hey, matuig, oh ngalo anga fatonga, right?
mm,
And for me, I'm Tongan too, so I'm mate matonga for life. I'm proud Tongan.
mm,
But just living life and experiencing life, and I'm kind of understanding happiness,
yeah.
right? Understanding people, and how to be happy and what we go through. Then I realized that uh, you know, culture is good, but like everything in life, nothing is perfect,
Yeah.
right? So even our culture, no matter how much we love it, no matter how much I'm proud of it, but I am self-aware that it's not the most perfect culture.
Yeah.
So there are good things about it, and there's also a lot of bad things about it. But a lot of times we nobody wants to talk about the bad things
Mm-hmm.
because we're so prideful as Tongass that we're but this is the way, this is the only way.
Yeah.
It's the perfect way, but in reality, there are a lot of negative things that actually hurt people
Mm,
and kids. So I am aware of that. So like I take the good from the Tongan culture, I take the good from the American culture,
yeah.
the good things are what I learned about, and then I kind of mesh it together and
Mm,
form my own lifestyle and how I live my life, like to be happy. So, but
mhm.
what is your opinion on that subject?
I I'm like that too. I would take the good and, from both sides, mix it on my own. I would say for the Tongan culture, I love they're so caring and we're able to help people out,
Mm-hmm.
being humble and just loving on towards others, and what is it called? The other, it was just in my head. For apa respecting,
Yeah.
always showing, no matter what, always showing respect towards your elders.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, a lot of things that I take from our culture and just mix it with mine. From the American one, yeah, I think being able to just be independent, you know. One thing that I don't agree though is how, if this is just my opinion, like
Yeah.
when the kids are teen and they should be able to
Nope.
turn out and be.
The kids.
Uh,
Yes. Repeat that one more time.
oh, uh, for the American culture, I think I I kind of don't like how when you're 18 you have to move out. I mean, I get it,
Oh yeah.
I get it. It works out. It works out for a lot of people, but I feel like if you just,
I don't think
you,
it'd be. I don't think it should be forced. You
yeah, it
know.
should, yeah,
Yeah. If they want to, they can, but they know there's always a home for
home,
them.
always home.
They can come back.
Yeah, a lot of my Balangi friends, like they're saying, yeah, once I'm 18, I have to look for a place because I'm out. I'm just like, what? That's something I had to get used to hearing from my friends. And but when I was 18, I did move out just because it was my choice. I moved out.
Yeah. Yeah. That was different. That was a different situation for you. Yeah.
Yeah. I just like how with the American culture where you're able to do a lot of stuff with your kids, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of things.
More open with your kids.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. More open. Yeah, be willing
Yeah,
to therapy with your kids and talk things
yeah,
out.
yeah. It's funny you brought up the 18 thing. Um, that's why I told my Palangi friends, like, I think that's why a lot of um Palangi that's why a lot of the Palangi kids um send their parents to nursing homes,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because for me,
Yeah.
because and I see a lot of because my mom was a caretaker, right? So I used to go, sometimes I go and help her out at her job, right, and take care of the Vai,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes I'll have conversation with these older white people,
Uh-huh.
and sometimes they did express that they feel sad being at the retirement home because they'd rather be with their kids.
Yeah.
But then the way I see it is, well, I feel like the reason why that there's no connection, they don't have a deeper connection as far as we as Polynesians. The
Mm-hmm.
reason why we take care of our parents because we live with them our whole life until we're ready to move out.
Mm-hmm.
So we form a different bond as our parents let us live with them and don't kick us out. But when you kick out your kids at 18, then that relationship
Yeah.
is you get far apart.
Yeah.
It's not as close. And then
Agreed.
of course in the kids mind, well, you kicked me out at 18, why should I take care of you?
Yeah.
you can right? Especially if you kick them out at 18 and they go out there and they struggle, right? There's
Oh,
no support. They have to figure out life. So in their mind, like, well, you kicked me out, and then why would I take care of you if you didn't? So that's one thing I think that's one thing I love about our culture. We stay with our
mm-hmm.
parents. The only question about that, sometimes we stay too long. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Hey, I think it's time for you. I'm coming on Mali. But I think that's one thing I love about culture, and that's what one thing I say about Palanque is like the repercussion of kicking your kids out is that when you get older and then you need your kids' help,
Mm-hmm.
and then but they hold that against you. They create when you kick them out, it creates some kind of resentment. Like they end up resenting their parents. Oh, you want to kick
Mm-hmm.
me out, whatever.
Right.
So we did talk about the positives. So what about the negatives? So what do you feel like what are the negative things about both cultures and from American and Tongan that you feel like that you don't like? I think that you talked more about the American already. What about the Tongan culture?
The Tongan culture,
Like all the traditions that we have that you probably not as you don't really like for yourself
oh,
for your life.
Tongan culture. Mm. I think with the Tongan culture, can you share some of yours so maybe I can?
The one thing. The one thing I love about our culture is we the love we have, right? The offer we have, right? The give we give, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that's a positive, but there can also be a negative where people give too much,
Mm.
right? Because as kids, we're taught to give. Whatever you ask from your family, give everything you have.
Mm.
But sometimes sometimes I do see a lot of people suffer not only financially because they don't know how to say no,
Oh,
and
there
they
you go.
give everything they have, and they have nothing left for themselves, their wife, their kids, and so their family suffers, so that way they can please everybody else in their family.
Mm. Mm.
So I feel like that as a culture, we need to teach people that it's okay to put themselves first,
Yeah.
right? If your family asks you to do something, to help out on something, to give money, especially when it comes to misinale lipa anga at the
Yeah.
church. If you don't got it, you don't got it.
Uh,
Right? People,
yes. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
don't throw your rent money, you know, and your kids school money, school supplies, school money, because you can't say no to your parents, you can't say no to the church,
Yeah.
and then you end up suffering and being evicted, or and then or something, or even worse. So that's one thing I just don't like is, I do, like I said, I do love our passion to help, and that we like to give and help each other, but we also need to teach Polynesians it's okay to say no.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And put yourself first. So that's one thing. That's one thing I don't like is we're expected to say yes, especially when it comes from our elders. If they tell us, "Hey, I need you to give money for this," we are expected to say yes, and to say no, it seems like they take it, tanga ta'a or pefa
Yeah.
papa. I'm like, no, I'm not being disrespectful. I just don't have it. I got a wife, I got kids. I gotta take care of them first before I take care of you. So that's my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, but just tagging along from what you're saying, yeah, I definitely agree with that. There's one thing where I just I kind of don't like how we put people up, like we praise people when when it comes to like katoanga and stuff, like gathering, and we're over here
Yeah.
like making tables and putting like Faifikao and all this other people danga and stuff on the table, praising those people. I feel like I don't really like that. And no offense to anybody watching, it's just
Yeah.
we're all equal, and we're all equal, and we have a king. That's somebody that how everything in Tonga you have to call and do all of that stuff. But when it comes to like churches and stuff, like Katoanga, and you're putting all these people up there, I don't really agree with that. I just feel like all need to sit in the same table. We all need to, especially throwing like big like festival or feast. Like it's okay to go all out, but like what you said, if you don't have the money, you don't have the money. Simple, it's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something like the culture that I don't like. Just putting people up there and not being able to say no. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I feel like sometimes the people that they put on those tables, they feel mad sometimes. They have this. They think they're better than everybody else.
Sorry, guys.
Hey, just because you sit on that table doesn't mean you think you're better than me.
Serve them, like we're, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd be like, I know where you work at, bro.
Yeah.
You're sitting in the high horse there, and you're sitting on your high horse at that table. I was like, I know where you work. Now I'm just making jokes.
I'm just like.
Now I do see that. I do find it weird sometimes when, like when the five figures, they put them to. I feel like my opinion is the five figures, you're supposed to be like the humblest person in the room. I feel like, and they put them on that pedestal and then kind of like glorify them, right? I'm like, I find that weird.
From God,
Yeah, it takes away from the true reason why we're there is to celebrate Jesus Christ. Mm-hmm. But then when all the attention is because these are church functions, right? But then when you go to these functions, then sometimes I feel like it's all about the people and the money, and sometimes we lose focus of what's really important is the church itself. Mm-hmm. But that's just me. When I go there, I feel like the spirit's not there no more. I feel like, yeah. Okay. But I think we had some great conversations.
Sorry, just one thing, like I'm not really good with my word. That's why sometimes I'm like beating around the bushes, and sometimes I don't make sense. So again, I'm sorry.
No. I think that's what makes this cool, because everybody's different, right? I like how even though you know that you're beating around the bush, but you're still sharing your story, your life, and I like that. I think that's cool. We're all different, but at the same time, we can still able to express and share our
Right.
stories. So, but yeah, we had a lot of fun. We talked about your life, talked about your TikTok, talk about talk about everything you went through.
Yeah.
Now you said a lot of great, you said a lot of great things. Said a lot of powerful things. I know a lot of things you're gonna say. A lot of women, especially Tongan women, can relate to, and I can definitely help them out. But the one thing I'm gonna say is the last thing. Before we end this podcast, do you want to just say one last? I always ask everybody that I do an interview with to do this. Can you just say, some last words at the end? Because you talked about your whole life, and first and foremost, I was gonna say thank you for and grateful for you putting yourself out there. I know it's, being courageous to put yourself out there and speak your truth and be yourself and share your story. Very thankful. But I just want to ask you to share some final thoughts, some final words with everybody that's watching. Just give them some inspiration, some positivity, something that can empower them in their life. As they're trying to figure out their own life, especially if anybody out there that's watching this that may be struggling. So I just want to ask you to share some couple of thoughts and words. Hey, PFI fake out right now. Preach. Malanga, need you malanga, malanga. I mean.
The thing that I would definitely put out there is that whenever you're going through something, just think back to all the time all those hard times you went through, and you were able to pull yourself up, and you're here today, and you have a purpose. Everybody has a purpose, but you're the main character in your life, and you just live life to the fullest, make everybody happy around you, and don't worry about what anybody says. Yeah, don't worry about what anybody has to say. It's just you, yourself, if and the people around. And the people around, pay attention to the people that are around you as well. You want to hang out with people that think positive and supportive. If you're hanging out with people that are always negative, they don't support your ideas, or those are not the right people. Those are not the right people to hang out with. And last but not least, always put God in everything you do. Always put God. I notice I get through my day if I just say a little prayer and tell God how I feel. I can just feel God's presence and His comfort over me. So yeah, that's what I just want to leave you with. Do whatever you want. And yeah, don't care about what anybody has to say. Be determined.
Malo fai ficao, malo.
So yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that.